Hey, what's up, people? Let me get rid of that. Oh boy. All right. I'm on a different StreamYards account here. This is why this is all messed up, but my intro hasn't been uploaded. I really need to upload my intros. Let me see. I need to upload that. Oh boy. Okay. I know what to do. I really gotta do this. And I have them is just life and time. So I went to Canada Post and I did send off that letter. So at least that's done. There's some other stuff I need to do. I also gotta go, I guess, look about the copyright board. Um, and maybe file my complaint. But before I even file my complaint, I gotta I think it's best I do a video, right? And people are like, do a video. Yeah, do a video explaining, why I think there's just a lot of bullshit going on and why I'm doing what I'm doing. So we shall see, people. Other than that, we're gonna, I guess, get into this and really figure shit out. Uh, I could swear like there should be like an intro thing here. It's all good. All right, so let's get into this. I also gotta post up I guess a picture for my camera stuff. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to do this after the stream to make sure that when I use this specific account, everything is there, because at this moment you guys can't see anything and it kind of sucks, right? But I've just been really, really busy. It's been a busy weekend. It's a Monday. I had so much things to do today. I'm still doing it, but at least I'm here. We're gonna get into this. See how much of this we can get into. But first, I want to give, I guess, a little blurb about Foody Beauty. So Foody Beauty is in a lot of shit. She's in legal trouble. Where if you don't know already, I don't know how you don't know, but a lot of people are saying she's already in Canada. If I had to make an educated guess, and if anybody would be in her shoes, wouldn't it be best to like leave the country? Anyone would do that, right? Because when you get into trouble and you're in a certain places and countries that really don't care that much about your rights, you really don't want to be there, because then they can throw you into any type of detention, right? And it's not a two-star hotel. Okay, it's gonna be some hardcore shit. So you really don't want to be in that. So it would be better served that you go back to your country and fight your legal battle with a lawyer from where you're at, rather than having to spend a shit ton of time locked up. And perhaps, maybe, I'm not saying this might be true, but perhaps maybe your rights being infringed upon, or you might feel that your rights are being infringed upon. So there's a lot to this. She would be a fool. Yeah, exactly, Sassy Italian. I think anybody in that situation, not that I would ever put myself in that situation, but legitimately anybody with any ounce of common sense would have gotten the hell out of there. And I think she should, even though I don't think she has much common sense, get the hell out of there and go back to Canada. I also heard that they're going after Salah. Salah is in a very precarious position because of him being a citizen of uh, his home country, and he's not exactly, how do I put it, solid there in Kuwait, from my understanding. So we're he's in even more of shit, because at least Foodie Beauty can go home and never go to Kuwait and not look back. Like, that dude is from a whole different country, and he's there, and that he's made Kuwait his home. Where the hell is he gonna go if he gets into legal trouble? Like, Jesus Christ, this is just being a mess. And what was that all over for? Like cake? She needed like a little bit extra money for cake and pies and burgers and pizzas. Was it really worth it when you look back at it now? No, it's not worth it, because you not only screwed yourself over, but you're still okay. It's kind of like you were getting kicked out of Kuwait or any other country. Just get your booty back to Canada. You're gonna be good. You can always go elsewhere in the world. You don't need to go there. But Salah is like in the most sensitive position for him to now having to go through legal issues that could effectively, maybe perhaps throw him out of Kuwait. That is just sick. And of course, the same thing with Foodie Beauty. She just leaves him. She doesn't care. Why would she care? Just like we saw with the whole Marty situation from like a year and a half ago, where she didn't care that her mom's car was almost being towed. This was almost happening. That was almost happening. She did not care. Why? Because it wasn't happening to her. It's the way how her mind works. Okay, it might be my mom, but at least it's not happening to me. My mom, I guess, will just have to deal with the bullshit that's there. What's up, PetSmart? How you doing? Yeah, I would feel bad for him if he gets sent back to Syria. I think at this point in stage, this is literally, or the weekend is literally the change or the flip, the decisive moment where we're gonna see how or what truly was their relationship. Somebody's gonna start talking about each other. Someone's gonna start it, and then Foodie Beauty or Salah is not gonna stop, and then we're gonna find out a lot of information. Maybe who's that guy that like was Salah's friend? We had the wolf, but we had that big chubbier guy, right? That married that sweet Filipino lady. What was his name? Ala Shabib. Maybe Ala Shabib will start talking truly what his mind is like, and all sorts of stuff will come back about that situation. But I think who's truly going to hurt from all of this is Salah, especially if Pause Kuwait and the other charities truly do come after not only Foodie Beauty but himself, because one, he should have known better, and two, there's a lot at stake. It's kind of like when I would go into New York City and then people would like leave the turnstile open for me to get like a free fare. And then the guy would look at me, this one incident, and I'd look at him like, please close it. And he's like, dude, just get in. No one's here. I'm like, I understand that, but you never know who's peeping around the corner or who's looking, because I can't risk being a permanent resident in the USA and then getting caught skipping fears for like $3 and then getting myself into legal trouble. It's like shit like that. People don't understand that when I'm in certain countries or certain places, I'm constantly assessing like a risk. Like the latest incident was like 2 3 weeks ago with the convenience store. I said about how that kid was telling me how he's gonna like steal a pop and whatnot. I'm like, dude, I'm just gonna buy you the pop because I don't want to deal with not even me get into trouble, but seeing like a child get into like trouble that easily less than $5 could solve. Like it's stuff like that. I will not get myself into situations where putting your life, your lifestyle, your freedoms in jeopardy for a couple bucks. It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So stuff like that. So multiple times I've been asked, or somebody's kind of left the turnstile open for me at the Manhattan subway stations, and I've just outright refused. In fact, there's many times I've in told the guy, listen, I can't risk not being able to provide for my aunts that I gotta provide for. I can't risk being here to provide for my home and my family. And for $3, a cop would literally be around the corner, and then I'm in cuffs over $3, which means I literally would have screwed my family over for a couple dollars. I will never do that. I gotta think in a logical manner that I cannot do this, I cannot do that, even though the chances of me being not caught is like 99%. It's still a 1 in 100. You could even say 99.9%. It's still 1 in 1,000. I still can't risk it because the risk is just that great. Anyways, let's move on from Foodie Beauty, or we could just continue to have a conversation about that. Other matters are going, like I said, I've sent the letter to the lawyer on University Ave, and we're gonna continue with that. The next thing for me to do is file suit, which I will in the next couple of weeks. I'll keep you guys updated on that. Shout outs to the people who have sent me something um, through my Cash App. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Exactly, Sassy. Like, yeah, I will never lose my freedom over something so small. It just doesn't make any sense. Anyways, let's get into this.
99.9998% of you guys ever hear from that. And at the time, I had been in the industry. So I was 39 at the time. And I was there for a year, and I'm turning 41 this year. So do the fucking math. I don't know. Okay. But I was not aware that they had actual hoe websites. All right. Where if you're on there and I'm on there, we understand someone's fucking for cash, and it ain't going to be you. Before I became aware of these websites, I was actually working off of dating apps like Tinder and Hinge.
I hate that. I used to go on dating apps, to find a great partner. Cough, cough. But I hated when, you talk to somebody, because talking to somebody, you're investing your time, right? And you want it to pay off. Like, it's not going to pay off all the time. But the worst is when you think you're talking to somebody, they're vibing with you, and then you go to like Kik or WhatsApp, or you start texting, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, yeah, if you want me to, like, I don't know, get to know me a little bit more, or go to dinner or coffee or whatever, it's like $200. And you're like, what? They're like, yeah, it's $200. I'm like, Jesus. Like, separate the two things. The dating site's a dating site. And if you wanna do that kind of work, then do that kind of work. But I just think it's not right being on dating sites when you're trying to, do your sex work. Like, there's tons of sites out there. Like, I even looked at some of them. Like, Lila is one that I didn't know about. Of course, there's Leo List is super popular ever since, like, back pages went down, and the SerbTurb Merb sites aren't really doing so well. But SerbTurb Merb, it's still actually around, though. They're not so prominent as before, but they're still around.
And we have a very similar story, kind of.
Yeah, she didn't want to pay for ad space.
Right?
You start from dating sites and then you go from there.
People, and I don't understand why it.
I think it's actually kind of counterintuitive, because you can pay for ad for like $10. From what my research tells me, for like $10, why wouldn't you just pay the $10 rather than guys who are trying to legitimately get into a relationship? And that's a whole nother story. Like, you're kind of wasting their time. I don't know. It just seems counterintuitive to me, where it's better to just pay the $10 and get guys that are actually looking for this stuff, rather than going on dating sites and talking to 100 guys, and maybe 10, 20 guys might be okay with it. And then out of that 10, 20 guys, you got to figure out which guy would actually pay you.
And then you go from there.
People.
Yeah, exactly, Sassy.
I don't understand why it took so much work. Like, motherfucker, you know why I'm here, okay? And you know why you clicked on my picture. It's very clear with your 80-year-old ass. So unfortunately for me, sometimes I'm not really good at the whole, hey, how are you?
Don't give Grandpa a heart attack, sweetheart. Him being 80 years old. She wasn't getting responses in her ads. Oh, boy. You would think she would. I don't know. Somebody said she kind of looks like Michael Jackson with a shiny, pointy nose right there. I kind of, I believe him. But she wasn't getting responses with her ads, says Craig. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of competition. Have you people actually looked at these ads? Because you know how some people learn through example, some people have to learn through making their own mistakes. Like, some people are visual learners, like, you got to show them. Like, there's a shit ton of ads, even in like Toronto area, of people running ads for all sorts of services. And half the ladies on there don't even look like their picture. The picture is either super old, or they're doing bait and switch on you. And then you get there. I'm like, it's such a mosh pit of so many things. Like, I don't see how some guys even do this stuff. You see somebody that might be in the thralls of some sort of addiction, and you're paying them to, like, I don't know, do stuff to their body. I think it's kind of very morally wrong, plus also in bad taste. And like, and then the whole element of, some of these ladies don't want to be there. Because if you look at that, it's like, look at what Sagittarius Shorty had to go through when she lost her mom. And then guys were putting her in a hotel, what they would call a telly, and they wouldn't even pay her. Well, they would pay her, but not in the conventional way. They would pay her by giving her alcohol, maybe a little bit of something to eat, and she would just like sleep with guys all day. It's like, it's really bad. I would not. That situation, that environment, it takes a toll on your psyche. That's why, even if you go into this stuff all positive with the best intentions, it will still screw you up. Sassy Talent says, I haven't seen those ads since 2008. A friend of mine was a sex worker and she put out ads on actual newspaper. I can't remember when it was called, but she made that money back instantly. Yeah, I'm not even sure if people do still do that with the newspapers. I know like fetish is a huge thing now. I can maybe Google it because it's still old school, but some guys are just that old school. There are still party lines out there. I remember the party lines of like the 80s and 90s. Not that I was around for party lines in the 80s, but I'm just saying, in like the late 90s, early 2000s, Lava Life came into the forefront. So a lot of people were dialing into these party lines in like 97, 98. 99, early 2000s to like chat to people, get to know them, and then go out on dates. Like that was the thing people were doing.
Call me, let's talk every fucking day. What are you doing? What are you eating? How did you sleep? Shit, that really, I can't. I just want cash. I don't want you to buy me a bag. I don't want to go to fucking dinner. I just want cash. So I would be offending some people sometimes and they would report my fucking profile.
Yeah, of
and I
course.
ended up getting kicked off a lot of these websites, right?
Okay. So the reason that the profile or the thumbnail says I'm psychic is because I said when I ran my website in 10 years, I only had 3 women who had a problem with me. Okay. There were more men. There were more men who had problems with me. Again, if you rob a woman, you're not going to be allowed to post on my website. Like, are you crazy? Right? So I said the only people that hated me were like the dirty hoes who robbed men. Like,
Okay.
like the only
That kind of confused me at first. Is like, if you rob a woman, then you won't be, was because a lot of guys hated her. So the guys were actually prosties that were overpowering their Johns, which are, what do you call like a female John? A Jane? I guess the male prosties were overpowering their female Johns, which are Janes, and would rob them, and so they got reported. Is that what she's trying to say? Because that's what it seems like she's trying to say. And then some of the women, of course, there's always going to be somebody having a problem with you because people are going to try and cheat and steal, cut corners, and do all sorts of like bait and switch stuff, not deliver on what their ads would say that they're offering. All sorts of stuff happens because people are in the thralls of addiction. People are drinking. People are doing substances. People want to, get paid for an hour but only do 15 minutes. All sorts of stuff happens.
people who didn't like me were the people who didn't get to use my website. That's the only reason someone didn't like me back then. Like, I don't know how to explain that, but it's not trafficking. It's a website. But so what Azria is saying is that she herself has been kicked off of the exact kind of website that I ran.
No, you did not run a dating website. She got kicked off of sites, dating websites like Plenty of Fish. That's not what she said. She said she got kicked off of dating websites, which she should be kicked out of dating websites, in my humble opinion, because I don't want to go on a dating website to be hooking up with hoes. If I want to hook up with hoes, I go to a whole website. If I want to date, I go to a dating website. See the difference there? So she appropriately got kicked off of a dating website because she was trying to hoe, which is the correct procedure and thing to do. We don't want hoes on dating websites.
She keeps acting like she doesn't understand what my website was. It was a community forum where people posted ads,
Here we go
men
again.
could talk and write reviews, and girls could post ads and bad boy reports, and simple as that. Oh, and the
Oh my
parties.
God.
Okay, again, the
So
party.
her site was literally like a review board. These are very popular people, the review boards where guys will post reviews and their favorite prosties in the area, warn other guys that, one prosty might be running the bait or switch or trying to steal time from you or not give you what you came there to get paid for, or trying to stall you, or maybe they secretly have like a pimp and you got to be aware of the pimp because the pimp will then come in and try and extort you or do all sorts of like seedy behavior happens. It's kind of like having a casino in your neighborhood. Once a casino moves in, all types of hell will break loose because in the central area of that casino, there is a depression because you get all types of degenerates that are coming around, all types of people who looking for a quick, fast buck, looking for a hit, looking, for fast money. And, then you get all types of other seedy people. You get like the SEX workers coming around. You get like the dealers of substances coming around. And then it just keeps getting even more depressed.
Parties. The cops knew me. Okay, do you understand? They knew me. I had a whole file they had a whole file on me. Okay,
My
they knew
God.
me.
Is
They
that a
kept
good
track of
thing?
me. They made sure I'm not saying make, I have not talked to them in years. They made sure that I did everything on the up and up. I told you guys the story of them fucking coming to one of my parties
Don't make no
because they
sense.
wanted to let me know that they were keeping an eye on us and that if we did anything fucking nefarious, dude, my ass would be in prison. Do you not understand?
Okay, it kind of makes sense. Some cops are like don't want to deal with like the hoeing shit, so they will kind of keep tabs on you. They won't outright arrest you. In states like Maine, you can hoe, you can sell it, but you can't buy it. So being a prostitute in Maine is all good. Certain areas of Nevada, you could do it where it's legal on both ends. Other areas of Nevada, like Las Vegas, is a big no-no. I think Reno is also a big no-no. Um, but even in Reno, I watched a video about Reno. Reno is like a little mini um Vegas. So yeah, this guy called the Trooper. I watch him. He's the original blogger of like gambling blogger. Like he would first do outright gambling, then he started doing like poker. He's been doing it for like 15 years, man. You're getting sleepy. Can we speed this up? Team lay low. I guess you need to lay low.
Like, are you this stupid that you think that I got away with it for a decade?
I
A
guess you did.
decade without them knowing who I am. You have to be dumb. Stupid. Okay. So, Azria.
Why wouldn't anybody know who she is? She is like SSSBBW. Are you telling me there's multiple SSS heavy breathing, big bodied, hoeing women out there other than BBW Veronica? Like, come on. You told as soon as they say it's a heavy set prostitute, it's her. Like, I don't understand this. Are there multiple heavy sets out there?
Who likes to play stupid and is a compulsive fucking liar.
Listen, sometimes, Sassy, it's a mistake if you wear your underwear backwards. Are you telling me it's never happened to you? Wait a second. Oh my God, there was this one time. Okay, let me tell you this story. So this guy, I was speaking to this lady, and she was telling me how she got divorced and everything, right? And the way she got divorced was that her guy came home. He was loaded, wasted. Too bad he didn't get caught by the cops, but he drove home, and then when he was going to bed, she caught him wasted and loaded with somebody else's underwear on. He cheated on her, and he was wearing pink French laced panties, and he was so fucking drunk that he had no idea that he had pink French lace panties on. He thought it was his underwear. So when he was hopping into bed with his woman, she was like, "Why the fuck do you have pink French lace panties that are obviously not mine?" And that's how he got caught. Because he was wasted. He was done. He was over. He was zoomed. He was plastered. And then I guess what did the woman he was cheating with, did she have like boxers on or something? It's kind of weird, but she's like, yeah, that's how I caught my ex-husband.
She's like, I don't know what you're talking about. She doesn't know what she's talking about. I've never heard of a website like that ever.
Oh, that is so true. You are right. Like putting it backwards. BBW put up a try-on video where she wore the panties backwards because that part was bigger to cover up the Fupa Lupa. That does make sense. I think we had a conversation about this like 3 years ago. Some people didn't like it because they don't want to talk about this stuff. I mean that's fair because not a lot of people want to talk about, the sex work type of stuff, even in a fairly relative open community. But that does make a lot of sense.
Really? You just talked about getting kicked out of multiple ones just like mine. Like, be fucking for real. So, okay, there's that. Let's keep watching this bullshit.
On the whole thing annoying. So fortunately for me, I was on a hoe excursion, and they're just
And I need to preface this by saying that when I first saw this video a year ago or whatever, it did not register in my brain because my brain was not functioning properly. And so it's like my brain took a snapshot of Azria was pimp, associate, bad person. That's it, right? Like that's in my brain. I'm like, she worked as an assistant to a pimp. Okay.
What?
That's all I remembered. I did not remember
But
the
what is this, like some sort of like firm, like pimping firm, where a pimp doesn't work directly with his hoes? He has like assistants now. I mean, I'm sure there is somewhere out there where there is enough clientele. There's always going to be something like that, but that to me is just some next level type of thing. I'm just saying, are these two at odds? They are at odds. Two hoes at odds with each other, even though they were doing the same hoeing shite. They they are fighting each other. Yes.
details. And I'm very mad at myself for not watching this video until yesterday. What do you mean that I literally just described what I do to a minute detail while she's
Mm-hmm.
describing my exact type of website?
Right, 3 or 4
It's a
brawl.
review website that you post ads on, and she got kicked off of.
She did not say that. She said she got kicked off of a dating website, Pure Fish, Plenty of Fish. That's it. She did not say about she was on an actual hoeing website meant for hoes. She was trying to not pay her vigorish. You see how I used like a casino term there. She was not trying to pay the vig, which I don't know, maybe changed, but a couple years ago when I was doing research about Sagittarius Shawty and her circumstances, it was like $10 to post on places like Leo List, I guess for extra premiums. It might come closer to 20. But yeah, simple ad and whatnot is around $10 or so. Maybe the prices have changed. Who knows? I guess I'll look that up.
Vicky Valancourt. Okay, so let's take a listen to what Azria says.
Just happened
Okay.
to be another hoe there, and she told me about an agency, and I decided after looking at the agency I liked it because it was like a mom and pop agency, if that makes sense. Because a lot
Yikes.
of these agencies, they're hoe mills, right? Which means you have 10, 9, 8, whatever condominiums
Yep,
throughout the entire city, one
Now,
website,
question.
that is
multiple.
true.
Okay. So, in all of you who have seen Azria talk about hoe business in Canada, et cetera, one in the chat, if you knew that agencies are illegal in Canada. One in the chat if you knew that agencies were illegal.
We gotta be specific
Two
though.
if you didn't. Did you know that agencies were illegal?
Okay. We gotta be specific here. Agencies, in the sense of you're escorting people around, aren't illegal. But that's the thing. You aren't just escorting people around. You're exchanging sexual services for monies. That on the buying end is illegal, but on the selling end in Canada is not illegal. Once you start doing it as like a madame, like you're making money off of the avails of prostitution, then that it's illegal. Operating a common body house, as in a place where you have hoes at to like get, F to the U to the C to the K, that is illegal. We got to define what is illegal and what isn't illegal in Canada, because in itself, you can't just say, an escorting service is illegal. It's not. But what the escorting service is actually doing is described as illegal. On, once again, the operating a common body house sense, living off the avails of prostitution sense, and the buying of services on that end. So we really do need to be careful here of what we're saying is illegal and what isn't.
I'm sorry, Stink. She did her best. Now, you know that agencies are illegal in the U.S. too?
Who? Who? I guess
They've
so,
always been
yeah.
illegal. So,
In the sense of where you can operate one legally, then it's not illegal because the bunny ranch and whatnot is incorporated, and there's places where it's legal. So that in itself, you can't just overarchingly say that. But I have the understanding of why she's saying that. I'm just saying you can't just overarch saying stuff like that.
on my website, I allowed, let me think, like 3 or 4 agencies to advertise on my website. And I tell you why. Because not all agencies are bad. Some women want a manager to make all their appointments for them, etc., etc. And if I know those women are there willingly, then I have no problem sharing their ad.
But that's the thing. It's very hard to know if they are there willingly. That's the whole reason why Fasta Sesta came along, because a lot of people are just doing really not cool stuff and involving people who are indeed minors, because the whole goal was to get somebody as young as possible. And that's what people are doing, to the point where they were breaking the law and getting minors in a very sick situation, and the laws needed to be changed.
But if they're an agency, then they need to pay a higher price if they're going to be advertising multiple girls. Because it annoyed me when they would get one ad and then post 2 other girls on the same ad. I'm like, no, you got to pay more.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, where'd the money go? Nowhere. It goes to fucking nowhere. It goes to shit. Oh my God. Okay. So my whole point is that her world and my world were not the same. Not even a little bit. Okay. I did deal with some agencies, but only on an advertising basis. Like literally, that was it.
Okay. So
Everyone on my website was independent.
so agencies was using your website to post their ladies. I mean, how are you gonna run the agency that way then? Because now we're getting to a reason why Fasta Sesta once again existed, because an agency is not gonna let you verify or govern their women. That's why they have their own agencies. And if you really think about it, in the game, other people who are, hoeing hoes aren't going to let you come around their hoes because they think you're going to steal their hoes. So there's always that sense where a lot of these dudes and women that are doing this to these ladies and guys will, try and do solo, because there's this whole, steal your clientele, I'm a steal your hoes. And it's this back and forth thing that can, spill out into lots of avenues up to and including violence and whatnot. So there's so many facets of this lifestyle that I would never want to be in it, because it's so controversial. It can be skewed multiple ways. It's multifaceted, and you get trouble from the law, Johns, hoes, all sorts of shit. Like, why would you deal with that? I would just rather just get a goddamn job.
Like willingly, they're independent. Most, like I said, over 35. There were a few younger, so I don't say they were all over 35, but they were much older. Because who wants a community like that? Older people. Like, and who better? Like, I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how to explain it to people without like outing shit, but like, it was fine. And it still exists all over the world right now. Like there's so many communities, and my friends and stuff are all part of other communities right now. Like people who were in my community are still out there doing the same thing.
Oh boy.
Like
I don't know.
they just don't have as many parties and stuff now because of the laws and shit. Like they just made it more scary for all of us.
I don't know how I feel about
Like
that.
I so badly would love to be a hoe right now. Like if I could, bitch, I would. It's
OMG. Okay. I don't know how I feel about this, because I just think there must be something wrong if we got an old hole. I'm not trying to be like rude or anything. I'm just saying, a old hole in the game is kind of like, what the hell's going on? Because it's kind of like if you're a stripper, you have a certain amount of time to like make as much money as you can. Of course, there's always gonna be clientele who will see beyond you and age. Of course there is. That's why there's certain people who do have clientele on the low, and that's how they make their money. Some guys will pay them 500, 1,000, $2,000 a month to on the low do whatever they do with them. But overall, I don't know. Still strange to me. Something's going on, because that's the type of game that is very cutthroat, and there's just too much things that could go wrong. I'm just saying.
so much easier than trying to do like a regular job. Because again, my brain does not do a 40-hour work week. Like it just doesn't work that way. So sex work and running the website and shit, like I worked 24/7, but I didn't work consecutively 24/7. I was just on call 24/7. So
Mhm.
anyways, let's watch more Azria. Sorry, I keep talking.
Multiple girls, one phone number, and you just send niggas in and out of the fucking condo, just bap, just fucking
That's illegal. That's super illegal, by the way.
like 10,
No,
15
people do
motherfuckers
it.
all day. And I wasn't into that.
But that's what people do. They have like these condominium communities where there's like 5, 10, 20, even up to 30 condominiums all like in on a certain street, just back to back to back, or they'll even cluster them like four towers, and in the middle there's like a community space where the gym is at, the pool, the sauna, uh even a theater would be there, like a independent theater, all sorts of stuff, grocery store at the lower levels. You would have all sorts of like convenience stores, amenities and whatnot. And it's just like a center where you'll get like guys, literally rotating through those rotating doors and through the other rotating doors.
So I liked this website, or I liked this agency, sorry, because I just like the aesthetic of
Corona
the
has a lot of
website.
them,
Once I talked to the owner, I liked her.
like the ice
I liked what she
condos.
was about. I felt at the time that she was about protecting women more so, and that it was going to be a woman's business, and that we were going to work together.
My God, I hate this spiel of the protecting women. You go to a hoeing agency and they talk about protecting women. They're protecting their bottom
So
pockets, okay? Their
this is
pockets, their bottom
where
line.
I would come in conflict resolution if they needed me.
What?
Um, you'd have a situation like not just that, like people do other things, but they could contact me if they needed
What do
some.
you mean conflict resolution? Like this is the fucking what? You you trying to conflict resolution with pimps and hoes? Like instead of HR, it's whore R. Get it? Human resources, whore resources, whore R. Like don't let me call whore R on ya, you bitch. You better pony up, that the half hour worth of roses.
Not just
You
that,
be
like
stealing
people
from
do other
me.
things, but they could contact me if they needed something kind of discussion. Usually, most women would do like a half back situation. Like if you are ending something quickly, like if you're not into the appointment, some will let you do half back, that kind of thing.
Okay.
I mean, it's in everyone's individual, they all are different. I don't like her thing is again, her thing is her thing. I did not run an agency. These people booked their own clients. They did everything on their own. I could not book their appointments for them. That was illegal. And this is why I was telling you, okay, so I mentioned that one model chick who kept trying to come to me to do all her verification for her. And I'm like, motherfucker, I can't do this shit for you because if I get caught doing it, I get in trouble, right? Like I had to, you don't understand. I had to walk such a tight line. And you guys want to know why I burn out? Half of it was that. Like, I had to follow every fucking rule to the T. When I filed taxes every year, I filed my taxes. Like, I made sure because they knew what I was doing. And that's how they always get you is through your taxes. Like,
Okay, but I don't get that. If what you're doing is illegal on that level, then how the hell are you allowed to file your taxes unless you've literally stated that you've acquired employment at places like the Bunny Ranch or like you live in Maine where selling it is not illegal. Like how would she be able to file taxes knowing that she was procuring and posting ads for hoes? Like this doesn't make any sense to me. Maybe if you say you're filing taxes because you have like a review board website and you fail to surrender the information that it's about hoeing, then I get that. But to legitimately say you're filing taxes and you specify it's all about hoeing in areas where hoeing is illegal just makes zero sense.
fuck my life. And then, like, we'll do a back page thing too later. We'll watch that. There's a couple documentaries. I want to watch that stuff too, so you guys can see that.
And make money, and not just like, treating hoes like how people treat hoes, right?
Ethical hoeing.
So not long after I started to work
Oxymoron,
there, I probably
and
became
it
one.
doesn't exist. Ethical hoeing is literally an oxymoron. There's nothing ethical about hoeing. Hoeing is one of the most unethical things that, as a society, all around the world, that people, scoff at because there's a lot of underlying things to it. Where if you are, I can get into this, but there's so much facets. Once again, the whole thing where the cheating thing, where guys and women will go out there and do whatever. Like I've heard of those dancing beer parties. I've heard of people cheating on their potential, life mates the night before at like their bachelor parties or their bachelorette parties. It's like crazy shit where a whole group of people who are married trying to celebrate that somebody's gonna get married the next day, or like hooking up with like the dancers there. Like it's messed up, but stuff like that happens. Please tell me in the chat if you've ever heard of stories like that. Like I don't know, maybe when your girlfriends, maybe half of you, maybe all of you are married. One girlfriend's getting married tomorrow, then all of a sudden the stripper comes there and he's backshotting the whole crew, or he's getting fellatio from all the married ladies. I've heard the stories online, and same types of shit that can and will happen at the bachelor parties. All of a sudden you get a little bit of alcohol, maybe some sniffs added, then out of nowhere there's multiple people doing all sorts of like behaviors that they would never talk about unless there's a fight. Like that stuff does happen.
Ethical hoeing.
So not long after I started to work there, I probably became one of her most valuable hoes. I'm not saying I am more valuable, but to her I was, because one, I brought in the business because I showed my face. And a lot of times when people
I'm not being rude at all. In most circles they'd call that the bottom bitch. She's the like head hoe in
The HHIC. You guys ever heard of HNIC? Okay, don't be saying what it actually means, but it's more like the HHIC, the head hoe in charge. These terms are so it dates you. These terms like being I need a ride or die chick. Remember that song? I need a ride or die chick. Yeah, people don't use those words anymore. It's like 20 plus years ago. You're not normalizing calling yourself a hoe ever.
situation type deal.
people go to escorting websites, you don't see the girl's face. You see a body, you see lingerie, you see a blur, you see hair, you see the statistics that are put on the side, maybe read some reviews, but these men want to see what they're going to fuck. So once I started working for the agency, it didn't really take long for me to become, to her, one of her most valuable girls, because one, I showed my face. Two, I worked full time. Three, I was really about my business. To me, I think it's a legitimate business. I want to have
Oh my
clients. I want
God.
my clients to be repetitive. I want to raise my rates. And these are things that you need to earn in the industry. So I acted accordingly. And she valued that. So it wasn't too long after she was telling me, like, listen, I'm going to be retiring to Italy. I want to give you the business. And not only, but before she wanted to give me the business, she wanted to open up multiple locations throughout Canada. So she was going to have an agency in
Yikes.
Montreal. She was going to have one in Vancouver. She was going to have one. She had one already in Toronto. And I was like, fuck yeah. Hell yeah.
What's with the awkward pausing? Like, say something. Yikes,
Do
man.
you see what I see?
Yeah, hypocrisy. That's what I see.
They're talking about setting up a trafficking ring.
Yeah, setting up multiple homing centers. Expansion, business expansion.
Do you see what I see? I'm not psychic. It's just the only people who hate me are bad people. And I know I hate to say that out loud, but it's just fact. And it just proved it again. This bitch was planning on being a pimp. She was a pimp assistant about to be a pimp. She would never be allowed on my website. Are you fucking kidding me? I am so my flabbers are gasted. I am nauseous. I can't believe I didn't realize who she was before I even responded to her in the first place. Like I feel violated. Like fuck you. So many fuck yous. Call me a trafficker. Me. Done. This shit is real. This is her admitting to actually being a fucking pimp. So in the hierarchy, somehow she's better than me, right? You got it, bitch. Fuck you. Seriously.
I'll live in Montreal and fucking run an agency, or live in Vancouver.
I'm
So to
so
me,
irritated.
her and I had that connection.
How did I
I
not
had a
see
goal in my head,
this?
and that's what
You know what? A place I would actually wouldn't mind living, Montreal. I don't know. I love Montreal. Montreal is amazing. I used to think when I was younger, Montreal was like a forever away. Nowadays, I can literally go to Montreal for a couple hours if I leave my house like at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, and then by nighttime I'm back like in Toronto, which is crazy, right? Because each way is like 5 to 6 hours. 5 hours on a really really good day. Typically 6 hours if you kind of really limit your stops to like maybe a few minutes, and you have still pretty good traffic. Like in a winter storm, it could be 8, 9, 10 hours, and it has taken me that long in a winter storm where the highway's locked off. I wouldn't even mind living in Vancouver, but Vancouver is very expensive. I think if I ever went to Vancouver, my resources would be exhausted rather quickly. So I don't want to establish myself somewhere where I don't have the resources to like maintain a certain type of lifestyle, because that would be really, really bad. But Montreal can be great. It's just the whole car thing, and piling up on the side of the streets, and then the tow trucks towing you randomly if you leave for a couple of days and you don't tell a friend that, hey, hold my keys. If you hear the horns a horning, run out and move the car, stuff like that.
I need. Like, you can't just be fucking for cash, because like you get into trouble. If all you do is take dick and make money, you got to have something else, a end goal somewhere, or else you can get very lost, which kind of happened to me a little bit because I do have my vices, but I'm okay now. So yeah, I was super happy, and I'm like,
You're
listen,
not okay
awesome, I'm
now.
gonna work with you. Let's
Definitely
do
not
this. So I
okay
started
now.
spending so
The
much time with her.
hypocrisy is
Besides me actually
unfucking
working, I would be
real.
there when I wasn't on, because I'd watch how things operate, and I'd help her, and I'd watch her take the phone calls and learn how to operate the business, blah blah. And there were even times where she trusted me enough that she wasn't around, and she left me to run the agency for an overnight. And she let me into the house.
She was
She wasn't
literally
there,
running
etc. She
girls.
realized, like, yo, I'm about that. I'm
She's
not,
talking about running
right. So
girls.
soon enough, the business was
And
my
it's
everything,
illegal
y'all.
in
I stopped
Canada.
doing
This isn't even
YouTube.
fucking
I
legal.
stopped
Hold on.
doing any kind of tube.
Like,
Uh-huh.
I know you guys don't believe me. Hold on.
Yeah, pull it up.
In Canada, it's illegal to buy sexual services and illegal to receive and benefit from commercial enterprise and official. Like, are you fucking kidding me? It is illegal.
Yeah,
It's illegal.
it is. People still do it. A
Anything that
lot
I
of
wanted to
people.
do, I wasn't being an independent
I
woman.
am.
Oh, speaking of which, you guys share on the news how a pharmacist from, I think it was Markham Stouffville Hospital, was running the deepfakes site where they'll superimpose somebody's face on top of another person, and they're engaging in like XXX activities. I was like, makes sense. A pharmacist of all people had a website like that, and he was making so much money. A lot of this stuff is happening where they'll deep fake your favorite like YouTuber, and you can go and watch this said YouTuber engage in certain things, but it's really not them. It's just a deep fake. Like people, I don't know, people have like uh are into that, and it's happening a lot. Yeah, you didn't hear about these deepfake websites? They started out with celebrities, like really well-known celebrities, like Katy Perry, Taylor Swift, Tom Cruise, The Rock, a lot of like these big well-known Oprah celebrities. They deepfake, but now they're deepfaking like the YouTubers, the people on Kick, the people on Rumble, and they're doing that. And if this happening to YouTubers and streamers, then it'll happening to a lot of people.
He's getting a cut of every single call.
It's
But
so
at the same
annoying.
time, I would be getting introduced to big clientels. Like, one thing I can say is that her clients were money. So I was making money. I was learning, and I felt like, okay, this is cool. Like, I have a
Wow, like she doesn't understand how, like, if you know, have girls doing certain things, you can find a better clientele if you. Oh my God, like I can't with this shit. I just can't. I'm
The
so
goal here
annoyed.
is to run and own and operate an agency. Got it. So I'm spending all my time with this girl and at the agency, and I realized,
Bitch,
like, I'm
I
not doing
can't.
YouTube. I'm not
I
hanging out
am.
with my other friends. I'm not doing jack shit. That's for me. And it started to become a little daunting, especially when you can't go to this girl's house. As soon as you open the
I
front
hope this
door, the
ends
bitch
it.
is talking about somebody
Look, this
else.
is my point. This is my point. This is my point. This is my point. I want to make this point so vividly clear right now. The hierarchy does not exist in my chat. If you're a cam girl, if you're a streetwalker, if you're a fucking $1,000 an hour whore, I don't care. We're all the same here. That is how I ran my website. That's how we treated each other. That's why I know so many people who made thousands of dollars an hour as a hooker. Why? Because we all treated each other the same. This shit, this treating me like I'm some piece of trash because I ran a website that helped women. No, no,
Sure,
no. We're not doing this shit no more.
if she wants to call it that, a website that helps women. Okay, if you truly want to help women, I mean, there's lots of venues for that. I don't think women are even helping themselves when they're in that industry. Like I said, there's just too much shit that will affect your psyche. But that's just, excuse me, that's just my opinion on the whole thing. We can get into a conversation about that, but hey, there's a lot to it. Who is this? Says Wicked Laughter. This is BWW Veronica. Cake farting extraordinaire, or should I just say farting extraordinaire? Does and offers sexual services. Used to live in Mexico, trying to outrun Fasta Sesta. Is now back in the United States of America and wanting to return back to Mexico once she has reestablished herself, particularly in the sex industry. She is a BBW by name and also a BBW by weight, clearly. And she is your favorite fetishist.
Because this is what's leading the charge. Fuck you all. Fuck all of you who have been following this bitch, calling me a sex trafficker. Again, projection. I'm done. I'm not going to, you know what? You all can call me whatever you want going forward. I'm not going to respond to none of it because this is proof that every time someone talks shit on me, they're a piece of shit. Period.
Well, I
Fuck
mean,
you.
I
I'm
can't knock
so
it.
mad.
That shit is draining to me. So, things were becoming a little bit
Claire, I'm
taxing and
reading for
daunting
you,
because
baby.
I like to be in my fucking house, right? But I'm thinking there's an end goal here. Shit, and it started to drain me. Like, can I just come to work and just you shut the fuck up,
Unreal.
please? And for the most
The
part, I
amount
ignored
of
her. She
shit
really
I've
didn't
taken for
care. But the
3
only time
fucking
I
years,
really
you
paid
guys.
attention to what she was saying about the
I
girls.
think I think if Vivian Veronica really stood on her business, I keep saying that, but there's a lot of people who are wishy washy, and if people like her would stand on her business, it would be a lot better because she did make a very good opinion. I keep saying this, I'm gonna keep repeating it. That what Buddha bitch was doing was really not cool. She tried to paint me a certain way. She tried saying certain things. She was putting random clips of other people saying that the situation was X, Y, and Z when it truly wasn't, to try and paint me a certain way or to imply that I was in her basement after raping her. Yes, you heard me say it. She was implying that I was raping her, even though I've never met this woman in my life. And I'm disgusted that I ever wasted my time to have her call me and speak to me about all types of bullshit that are easy or seemingly easy fix problems that she would never fix but always want to talk about. This is why I'm surprised that her talking to Hecate's daughter, because these are two nutties talking to each other. Usually when that happens, folie à deux situation occurs, and also a fallout occurs where one person will be like, no, it has to be this way, or I see it like this. If you don't see it like this, we can no longer be friends. I'm surprised that hasn't happened yet, and now all of a sudden we get a war. Surprised that hasn't happened because Buddha Bitch will eat up a lot of your time. She used to eat up at times hours of my day, want to talk about the same shit. And that started to become annoying. Very, very, very annoying, especially when you start to randomly call somebody in the morning, at night, the middle of the night. Anytime you feel like talking, they should be available. You know what? That type of person that you need, you don't need a so called friend, you need a therapist. Okay, and I'm nobody's free therapist.
Was when it had to do
I'm
with
so
loyalty or
mad.
when it had to do with fucking up money. Because if I'm going to be taking over this agency or another agency, I need to look out for those characteristics. And I
Ex
also
wicked
don't want to
laughter.
be close or friends with bitches that operate like that, right?
Yeah,
So
she posted it and she kept on saying how she didn't know whose dick pic it was. Then all of a sudden it was the guy who essayed her. And I'm like, that's in itself doesn't make any sense. Why would you post a picture of a person you're saying essayed you and then act like it was mine to make people think it was me? And then people just go off without actually thinking maybe Buddha bitch is not telling the truth, right? Hey, Ansja, what's going on? Popping in to say hi, welcome.
whenever she talked shit about somebody, I believed her because I thought, why would a bitch lie? Right?
Why would a
And
bitch
I
lie?
acted accordingly. I wouldn't have beef with the girl essentially, but I would keep my distance, you know? Like I ain't leaving you in the fucking room with my purse type shit, right? And then as time kept progressing, I started to notice some really terrible attributes I didn't like. Like so, you know, every day time starts progressing more and more. And then I noticed that I would want to take a step back and go
Hey,
do something
Beaker.
with someone else that wasn't in the industry or just take a day to myself. And she would call me up and be like, "Oh, you're on schedule today. You didn't know?" Or guess what? There's
Again, my website was kept to the tippy toppy squeakiest of cleaniest. The squeakiest.
I don't see how that's
Because we had
possible.
to.
I don't see how that's possible, especially when you literally just told me you had agencies posted on your website. Your agencies are not going to tell you everything. You're literally reviewing a person talking about how an agency wanted to set up shop at multiple places. So from my gathering, her website was very I wouldn't say local, but more like regional, as in a certain area, maybe a couple of cities, maybe a certain subsection of a state or certain states. There's no way you can govern agencies to the ability where you know for sure they're not doing seedy stuff when you're in a business like BB Dover in a case, and there's literally no way. So she can say like everything was, IDs were checked and whatnot. Even with that, when you're asking a John for ID, some Johns will be cool with it. Other Johns will be like, no, you're not getting my ID because I don't want to be identified. And there you go, you lose a client, right?
Her shit was always illegal. It was never legal to run a fucking brothel. And
I'm so sorry about the whole Mary thing. I've been hearing and seeing that Mary was blocking a bunch of people because of her own personal likes and dislikes and opinions.
it makes it even worse that it's all in the same condo. Like, what? What?
big money. I know you're off, but if you come, there's big money waiting for you at
I'm
something I'll be
sorry.
down. I'm like, cool. I would
Do you
show
need to
up
breathe
and
it?
then I'd be sitting there on the couch like, okay,
I'm
it's
good.
Friday,
I'm
converting, what's going
sorry.
on?
You just, again, if you have a problem with someone who has very strong emotions, you're not going to like it here. It's just my life is always on 11. It's just the way it is. Sorry, but I'm never wrong. I have not been wrong. I'm not wrong about this bitch.
I don't
I
know.
was
I didn't hear
right.
from him. He just
I
never
was
messaged
so
me
right.
back. I
I'm
don't know.
fucking psychic.
So now a bitch is just out of her house for no fucking reason. And
Right.
she's like, well, you want to have a glass of wine? And I'm like, fine, I'm already
I
here.
just
Maybe I'll get a
can't.
call in between. And next thing you know, it was always wine. It was always wine. It was always Moretto. It was always tequila. It was always something. Next thing, whenever I'm not
Let me
What happened with stuff? What did the spooky say? To be honest, if I were an active sex worker, I wouldn't even be talking about it online.
was always Moretto, it was always tequila, it was always
Okay,
something. Next thing,
I guess
whenever
that
I'm not
works.
let me
actually
find
working,
you a
I'm at her
good clip.
house
Hold on.
drinking, and I just started to go down the fuck hill. But then it just started to become too much. You know, I don't want to see nobody's face every fucking day. right? So I just have no time to myself. And I noticed that every time I liked a girl in the agency, that girl would be an issue for her the next day or a week later, right? So there was this girl, let's call her.
Again, 10 years. 10 years I had my website. Do you know how many girls I fought with? Do we remember? Three. 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 I mediated a few cat fights here and there. It's a problem, especially like if you're doing duos and stuff with people, there can be a lot of contention sometimes. But the biggest thing with sex work, especially like escorting, is letting go of your ego because,
Duos.
we're all
Doing duos. Okay, I guess somebody was sucking a little bit harder than somebody else, so they thought they shouldn't, or they should get more of the pay. Maybe it should have been a 50-50. Now it's a 60-40 because, one was on both nuts while the other one was only on one nut.
because,
Duos?
we're all the same. Whether you're putting a pretty face to it, it's still fucking for money. So
For Michelle, she came over, she joined the agency, and me and her right off the bat, like we clicked, right? And I was
keep
invited
her
to a
out of
birthday
jail,
party, and I
keep
went
her
to
in
her
the
birthday
mental
party instead of
hospital.
hanging out with the owner. And
Bitch, we
when I
need to
came back
smoke a
over another
bowl.
time, I was like, "Yeah, I just went over to Michelle's birthday.
Like,
It
I'm
was
just so
cool."
glad we can
She's like,
move
"Oh, you're
forward
mint."
from this. You know what I'm
And I
saying?
saw this
Like,
like flicker behind her
I
eye.
just, it's just been bugging me because I'm like, why do they keep bringing it up? Like, why is it so weird for them? Like, why are they so awkward? Why are they so weird about it? Like, I have never dealt with this kind of shit with women before. And now it all makes sense because she feels bad about herself. And they get to project it onto a fat bitch like me and they get to laugh about it. And they get an audience to laugh about it because people are laughing at the fat bitch.
Really?
I get it. I get it. And now I can move forward and fully understand moving forward. Like it's just one of those life lessons, right? Like I have to move forward now from all of those dumbass bitches. Like they are ridiculous. This is
What's up,
ridiculous. This
Ali?
is ridiculous. She's a whole ass trafficker. A whole ass trafficker. And she is getting praised for calling me a legal website owner who was able to travel internationally. Like, you got to be kidding me if you think they'd let me travel internationally if I had any kind of. Oh, so annoying. The stupidity.
Well, they would because you're not charged and you're not, you know, they haven't held you up anyway, so of course you would. You're not detained. You were never, well, I couldn't say never detained, but unless you're charged or something and or detained and they've put like a traveler restriction on you, then you could just go wherever you want.
Of these people. It's all good.
It
It's
was,
all good.
it wasn't outright like, but it was a quick little flicker of jealousy. And I'm like, yeah. And then all of a sudden the next day, she's texting me, oh, this bitch didn't show up for her shift. And that just fucked up all your money because you were supposed to have a party with her later. And now nobody's coming to the party and blah, blah, blah. And I realized like she was trying to get me mad at the girl. So I'm starting to notice like, yo, I don't like anybody. I'm isolated here. I'm
You know,
always hanging out with
Nadine,
her. And anytime.
why would you ever be blocked? We're friendly with each other. You're super cool. I would never, ever, ever even dare think of blocking you. How you been? I actually thought about you about a day or two ago. I'm like, I wonder if Nadine's okay because I remember you went through some shit. I remember last year summer, in and around the time I was in New Hamburg, and I was supposed to have spoken to SJM face to face, but that didn't happen. So then I was like, okay, cool. And then he wanted you to bring your child and both come and stay with Jesus Christ, Nadine. Can you fuck? Can you imagine, Nadine, if you had gone last summer and less than a year? like 9 months later, you would have not been having a place, and you'd have to, fret about the rent being paid because this guy wanted you to leave Western Canada and go and live with him. Like the types of shit. It's like people. The man did not have a secure home of his own. Like he should not be inviting anybody over into an unsecured household. I think that's just completely wrong. Just overall completely wrong because I'd never want to do that to somebody. But then to do that and think it's okay, I could not, especially when there is a minor tagging along. I gotta have my place on solid, with some sort of savings, and I got roots in the ground before I'm inviting somebody. But I'm glad things are getting better for you, and you didn't put yourself in that like really awful situation because that would have really sucked. Yeah, so I'm always glad that you're doing better. I wish you the best. You was accidentally maybe for self protection one stream. Yeah. So Pippa's Revenge says, in my opinion, only one of these storylines sound like. Which one sounds like that? Pippa's Revenge. I love to hear what you
Time I'm
say.
close with any other girl, there's an issue. So once again, these things, they were annoying as fuck, but was I gonna fuck up my whole future and not have a part of the business because of it? No, right? But then I learned this is when I really started to take a step back. Two things. One, I found out that there was a black girl there and she was charging the black girl the same cut as if she had done the work. So basically, this black girl was bringing in her own clients and she was only using the agency's room. So the agency wasn't doing any advertising for her. The
Mm-hmm.
agency wasn't answering any phone calls for her.
Mm-hmm.
She only was using the room for the call. So why would you be charging this girl the same amount of money if you're not doing the same amount of work for the other girls? Wouldn't you have a discount? Wouldn't it be if you're charging $100 per call, wouldn't you charge her 80 or 70 because you're not doing any of the other things you're supposed to
This
be
is all
doing for her?
illegal. Just so you know,
Oh,
like
I
I
see,
again,
Nadine.
just so you know, all
I'm
illegal.
sorry to hear that. I did clear my block list. If anybody's listening, I'm gonna make sure I clear it again.
All illegal.
Because I'm like, really? Either you're racist or you're just really fucking greedy. Either way, I don't like it. And then the second thing was the bitch asked me to extort somebody. That probably should have been the biggest thing, actually. Like,
Yeah, and she kept working for it. Like, do
so
you see a
her trying to
trend?
get me to extort somebody, plus this whole thing with the other girl, plus
This
the
woman
fact that
was
I
so
wasn't getting along
terrible.
with any other girls,
She was so
always
terrible.
drama
She
with
was
her.
making
She
her
was
do all
always
these
talking
bad
shit about
things. It was
somebody.
all her
I
fault.
just took a step back. So those two things, but here's the kicker. Here's the real kicker. She outed a girl that worked at the agency because she was mad at her. And you don't ever out anyone. You are upset with her about some dumb shit. You told everyone that she was basically a hoe. Yes.
Okay, awkward pausing again. But I'm here. So yeah, the outing thing.
Dude, I have grown
I get it.
exponentially. I've learned so much about how my brain works. Like I feel like I'm doing a lot better at controlling my emotions, right? I just want to be. I just want to make fun of funny stuff and laugh and have a good time and not.
Oh, Luxy coming with the snark. I don't know, Luxy. You kinda growing on me with the snarky stuff that you do. I could just picture it, maybe you snapping do you have an accent, Luxy? Do you sound like this or anything like that? You know what was funny when I moved to Florida the first time, people kept on making fun of me because they were like, "You have an accent," and I talk funny when I just thought they all talked funny living in Miami and stuff. But then again, I got used to that. I got used to the New York accent real quick. But hey, Luxy's kind of growing on me. So Luxy's saying maybe accounts doxing people's addresses in chat should stay blocked. Okay, sure, Luxy. We'll work on that.
Not have people coming in my chat telling me how horrible and terrible I am. I want to be able to post on Twitter and not have some dumb motherfucker be like, but you're a sex trafficker. I'm fucking done. I'm done. I wasn't the sex trafficker. She was. There you go. Deflect. I'm done. It's so stupid. I can't believe this hoe has been the one that was running this campaign.
So outing a woman
Unreal.
in the industry is one of the most
No
diabolical
worries.
things you can do. So I take
So Cam trying to dox me the other night for these bitches. And this is her, that's how she feels, right? She knows doxing is fucking bad, right?
Yo, what's up with the Camnian thing? And Nikki T, I guess. I have no idea what the hell's going on. I've just been hearing stuff. Like, can somebody explain? By somebody, I guess I mean Lexi.
Fucking stupid.
a step back, and then as I'm analyzing things and how things are going, and I'm realizing,
Bing
even
bong.
if she were telling the truth about giving me the agency, I want
Sorry.
no parts of a bitch like this.
Oh
And
my
I decided for New
God.
Year's Eve, I was supposed to go to her house, but I said, fuck it. And instead, I invited the girls over to my house. And I said, do not tell her that you're coming here. Let's talk. And so when they came, I was like, straight up, this is why I don't like you, because she said this. This is why I don't
You
like
know,
you, 'cause she
I
said
tried
this.
because,
And
well,
we
because
ended
I
up
learned
finding out
from
that the
them.
bitch
When I started covering Rosie, I didn't know as much as I know now. We hadn't watched everything, and they had already watched everything. So I was able to ask questions. And I mean, I don't know. I thought we got along, but no, he just kept attacking me. And then she just decided that she wanted to go be one of her people, I guess. And so she just blocked me on Twitter and moved on to talking about doxing me. Real nice. Like, again, the only people who have problems with me are bad people. And I have proved this.
You know what? You know what? Camnian did. He called me like a flaming H word. But then again, I mean, my fiance also calls me that, so it's kind of like I didn't really take much offense to it. But you know, it's still kind of wrong. It might hurt somebody's feelings. What if I took offense to that? I mean, I guess if you have a fiance at home that does that to you all the time, it kind of gets normalized, even though it shouldn't. Where's Eggy? Oh, you mean my fiance? I don't know. Maybe with some guy. I think she's with some guy from Manchester tonight, partying up and whatnot. Probably shit talking me to her parents.
Time and time and time again. When I say what I say, I mean it. I don't, there is no missing context to anything. I put every bit of context in everything. And it's so annoying.
is a liar. And I just decided, I'm done with this bitch. And so did they. So I'm thinking, so now I'm like, okay, I need to lead this place properly, because right now I don't have any clients, because I have not been working
I
independently.
guess it's just so
I've been working with
weird.
her, right? So all of my clients are with her. So I decided that I was going to have a discussion with her. And I said straight up, I want to go independent.
So the deal with Nikki, if you guys want to know what Nikki's deal is Nikki is a cow buddy troll. She tries to buddy troll all of the cows. Rosie, she's nicotine. We're 100% sure now. She's nicotine in her chat now, but I know she was someone else before. She tried to buddy troll me. She buddy trolled ALR. I think she buddy trolled Foody too, or did she not? I know she did ALR for sure. She went into their chat because talking to her. So yeah, she's just a buddy troll. That's her thing. And I even think that Cam, she's buddy trolling Cam. I think that she is using him as the voice for her channel just for the fuck of it. I don't know. She's weird. She's a really weird chick. He's useless, but she thinks it's funny because it's like he's weird as fuck. He's so schizophrenic. He's willing to fucking dox me. Like, are you kidding me?
Jesus.
I'm sitting here, I'm like, I was a sex worker. I had all these people on my website. There was some.
I mean, a shrink would have a field day with the shit that goes on in girl world with people with mental health issues they're not working on, not trying to resolve, and then it gets exacerbated, getting into arguments and fights because people that should be working on themselves aren't working on themselves, because there could be a healthy in between where you're online as well as you're helping yourself in a mental health type of sense. But there's so much people that are just not doing anything for themselves. They literally dive into girl world, and then all of the shit just happens.
People are, you guys, oh yeah, let me dox you. You know how fucked that is, right? That's a real fucked thing to do. And what's worse is he doxed someone else, and I'm hoping he isn't harassing her. That's all I'm saying. Like, I'm sure maybe someday I will be doxed, but not right now. Please let me leave the country first. Thank you. Because you don't understand what it's like to be someone that when people are jealous of them, they hate them, right? Like it's hard to explain. It's like when I reject guys, how they will want to either hurt me or just call me names and say I'm fat and ugly. Yeah, he was super rude to me. He just wouldn't stop being rude to me. And then Nikki would do this whole thing where she'd be like, oh, he doesn't mean it, blah blah blah, he really does like you, he only does it because he likes you.
Oh my god.
He wants to
That's called
dox
negging.
me, and that could cost me my life. Like, men are weird. When I reject them, they will stalk me for
Okay, I'm sorry. Even I hate when people say like it. I guess you could sometimes put things off to sexes, but saying men is weird is just weird in itself, because we literally have multiple examples of women doing the same shit. Like, look what Purple Glitter was doing. She was doxing me. Don't you think, I would rather not have my house and, vehicles that are in my driveway or in my garage shown on the internet for everybody to see? My address fully there for everybody to see? Of course, I wouldn't want that. But it was done by a woman, not a man, a woman that kept on doing it. And not only was she doing it, she was sending it to multiple people, making
rejecting
videos
them
about it.
because I'm fat. Make it make sense. It's just the way it is. Like, it's, what did they call it? The ugly girl syndrome, because they dated you because they thought you were ugly. And then when you reject them, they get angry. It's the same thing. It's so fucking weird. People are fucking weird. This is what I'm saying. So the reality is this person who literally managed girls, not just ran a website and threw a fucking cocktail party in a public space where cops could come and visit us anytime. Like, I made sure
Wait,
to.
wait, wait, wait. That, you know what that sounds like? That sounds like cops were, getting in. Cops are getting laid, maybe for free. Because some cops do that, right? You've heard of all the Long Crime Network videos about how cops were using sex workers for like free sex, and saying that if they don't, give it up, they'll get arrested. How many cops have we seen in the news in the past couple of years that have done that? Even to the point where they were just like disgustingly cruel about it. And who was that one cop? Wasn't he like Northwestern United States? I forgot what his name was, that kept on doing it to like sex workers, taking advantage of them when he was in a position of power. And then he got some like serious time behind bars for doing it.
In a
Forgot the
public
name.
space where cops could come and visit us anytime. Like, I made sure to do it in public so they wouldn't come to my house until the end. Then in the end, I was okay with it for a while, but
Oh, didn't I dox Farida on your channel? I didn't. What do you mean by dox? Like, show her home? I never showed her home. I said she has a shitty ass convenience store in the middle of nowhere, though. That little shit. And what else did I say? I forgot. We're gonna have to look over that video because I want to make a follow up on that. And her shitty ass convenience store. I mean, her kitchen was pretty good, but if you really look at her house, it wasn't that great. I mean, but then again, these days any house is good because we're in a housing crisis over here. So if you can even get a roof over your head, you're ahead of a whole lot of other people if you own that roof. I'm just saying, based on their convenience store, it isn't all cracked up as it is, and a lot of people are saying that they're established or in an position where they're actually not established or in a position, and that's it.
Then you want to know what happened? I had a girl wanting to do some shit to me, saying, what was she saying? Hold on. Oh my God. Never mind. I won't talk about it right now because it was just some drama. And I had already left the country. So she like was trying to call the cops on me or something at my house because I'd had parties there. And I'm like, I have already left. I'm in Costa Rica. How am I doing something illegal at my house in Costa Rica? Like,
Well, you technically still could do it because you've invited people to host a party that might have substances or anything else there. I'm just saying, and not like I'm saying she did, but it's still plausible that she could having people engage in shit at a property that she owns, which means she has a duty of care and will hold some liability if anybody gets hurt there.
you are fucking retarded, but whatever. But that's the kind of people that hate me. They're just these weird, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It's weird. Because, okay, again, I just want to stress, I keep being told that I always play the victim. And again, I don't play the victim. I just explain that I am a victim. And that makes them mad. And I know I'm not supposed to respond to their accusations. But if their accusations were like that I wear a wig or something like that, most likely I wouldn't even care.
I thought she said you showed her streeter pictures of the outside of her house. I didn't see the live. No, I didn't. And once again, people lie. And I'm not gonna, bullshit you. Fuck yeah, I showed the convenience store because that shit was half dilapidated. I'm fucking surprised they even have enough money to pay one person any type of minimum wage, the type of foot traffic that I believe would be coming through there. They better have other businesses. Well, they actually do. If you look at the registration of multiple businesses, they have a lot of stuff going on. But just because you register businesses doesn't mean that they're successful. Take it from me. I've registered a few businesses, and they say that what, like 99% of businesses fail. But yeah, that was bullshit. She's just lying to you if she said that I showed her house. I didn't. I showed the convenience store.
Or watch their show. It's the calling me a sex trafficker when I was clearly an actual advocate for women and saved a lot of people's lives. And I have no qualms in saying that because I did a lot. Like it makes my heart good, my heart feel good to see some of the people that used to be on my website. Like some of them got married. We've got kids. Our website created kids, you guys. There's one couple that was a client and chick that ended up hooking up, that they like traveled the world for years. Like,
Well, I want to find out where that little shit. What was her name again? She used to be called Xena, and then she used another sobriquet that I forgot. Whatever happened to the pretty girl Frida used to stream with? Well, I want to find out what happened to her. That little twat.
we were nothing but good. We were goodness in a world of shit. And of course it got taken down because I couldn't handle it no more. Who wants to go to prison for helping people get a blowjob? It's not
Dun,
fair.
dun, dun. But why would you go to prison if you're just helping somebody get a blowjob? Unless there is some not only moral but legal gray area there. maybe more darker shade of gray than a lighter shade of gray, but gray enough.
And again, if I had a team and money and the ability to fight that shit, I could have stayed open, but I didn't. And it was 8 years ago, and I'm not doing it now. I'm fine right now.
There you go. All right, all right. I think I might wrap this up. I think we've kind of figured out what the hell's going on here, and I want to get into some other stuff. So I bid you adieu. I got to get back to all the shit I got to do in terms of me making a living and whatnot and figuring shit out. Future psychic students would heavily be confused with Kid Laughter, as you said. I don't know when was this? Maybe a couple minutes ago, 124. And I'll be back some other time. I think I have something scheduled. Not tomorrow because I'm too busy. Not Wednesday. Thursday. I gotta give a purple glitter update. Something possibly is happening with purple glitter. Zena is a wonder person, as in a wonderful person. Oh my, we got the ops. The ops is in the chat. Zena is a little twat, okay? And I guess I'm on the opposite side of the well wishes and thinking here in terms of Xena. Anyways, people, I'm out of here. Take care of yourself. Have a great one. I'll make sure I got everything sorted for the next stream on this right here. But I bid you adieu. Take care. Au revoir.